The scene opens on the exterior of a lively tavern beneath a clear, starlit sky. The faint shimmer of the constellations above add a touch of magic to the cool night air. From within the tavern, the sound of hearty music and boisterous laughter spills out, accompanied by the raucous harmonies of a drinking song sung in unison. The camera zooms in on the heavy wooden door, its iron bands gleaming faintly in the moonlight. As the door swings open, a wave of warmth bursts forth, carrying forth with it the mingling scents of roasting meat, billed spirits, and the unmistakable musk of revelry. Inside the tavern is alive with movement, patrons clinking mugs, servers darting between tables, and a bard plucking a lively tune on a lute. In the far corner of the room, a figure sits alone, cloaked in the air of quiet intensity. They wear a cobalt blue cloak, the fabric shimmering faintly as it catches the flickering light of the hearth. Intricate silver patterns weave across the cloak's surface, resembling the constellations in the night sky. The hood of the cloak is pulled low, casting the figure's features into shadow. Yet, even in the darkness, two glowing orbs, sky blue and faintly ethereal, pierce the gloom, their gaze unyielding and otherworldly. Beneath the cloak, the figure's armor glints subtly in the firelight. Chrome and blue split mail gleams from between the folds of the cloak, the metallic surface etched with faint sigils of protection. The dark tones of the armor blend seamlessly with the cobalt fabric, giving the figure a unified, almost spectral appearance. Around their waist, a leather belt holds an assortment of pouches and vials, each brimming with strange components and alchemical concoctions, tools of the trade of an arcane practitioner. This is Sirius Starbleyzer, the warlock, the mage, the adventurer whose presence commands both curiosity and respect. He sits in silence, observing the room with those glowing sky blue eyes, waiting for the moment when the threads of fate inevitably draw someone to his table. Sirius leans back in his chair, a sly grin playing on his lips. As the lively chatter of the tavern quiets down, he swirls the ale in his mug, his piercing eyes scanning the curious faces around him. Ah, so you want to know how a humble farmhand like me became a dashing, spell-singing adventurer you see before you? Well, pull up a chair, my friends, and keep those drinks flowing. This is a tale worth hearing. He takes a slow sip of his ale, letting the anticipation build. It all started on a day like any other. I was out in the woods foraging for mushrooms. You know, the kind that fetch a decent price at market. Not the kind that will leave you seeing dragons. Anyway, I wandered farther than usual, lost in thought, when suddenly the ground gave way beneath me. 1 minute I'm walking, the next I'm plummeting into darkness. I thought I was done for. Neck broken, skull cracked, take your pick. But when I came to, I wasn't dead. No, in fact, I found myself in this strange, damp chamber. The walls were covered in moss, the air thick and heavy, and there, in the center of the room, there was a skeleton lying on some kind of carved stone slab. Sirius pauses for effect, glancing around the room to ensure he still has their attention. He lowers his voice, forcing everyone to lean in. This skeleton wasn't your average pile of bones. Oh no, it was clutching something. A hand crossbow, unlike anything I've ever seen. Ornate, beautiful, and alive. I swear to the gods, the moment I laid my eyes on it, I heard a voice, a whisper, soft as a wind but clear as a bell. Take me, Sirius, it said. Yeah, that's right, it knew my name. Can you imagine? I thought I had gone mad. Probably hit my head too hard on the fall. But the whispers didn't stop. They promised me power, adventurers, and a chance to leave my dull little life behind. Take me, it said again, and before I knew it, my feet were moving on their own. He gestures dramatically, miming the moment he reached for the crossbow. When I picked it up, that's when it happened. A surge of energy, magic, shot through me like lightning. Blue light cracked all around, and for a moment, I thought it might have killed me, but it didn't. No, it changed me, made me smarter, sharper, gave me this presence, you could say. But it took something in return. My strength, my muscle, it was all gone. A trade, I figured. Power for power. And then, just like that, The whisper stopped. I looked at the crossbow in my hand, and I said the name that somehow planted itself in my mind. Amber. Don't ask me how I knew it. Maybe she told me. Maybe it's just part of her magic. All I know is that Amber and I were connected from that moment on. Sirius leans forward, resting his elbows on the table, his grin turning conspiratorial. Now, here's the thing. Amber doesn't talk much anymore. She lets her power do her talking. But every now and then, when I'm in a tight spot or about to do something unwise, I hear her. A whisper. A laugh. Just enough to remind me that she's still there, watching. He sits back again, taking another sip of his ale, his eyes glinting with a mix of mischief and mystery. So there you have it. 1 minute, I'm a no-name farmhand digging in the dirt, and the next, I'm standing in a forgotten crypt, holding a magical weapon that turned my life upside down. Adventure called, and I answered, and let me tell you, friends, it's been one hell of a ride ever since. He raises his mug, toasting the room. To unexpected journeys and mysterious companions. May your own adventures be just as thrilling and a little less deadly. As the crowd cheers and drinks, Sirius leans back with a satisfied smile. The tale of his origin just another part of his enigmatic charm. And let me tell you, friends, let me tell a little tale about peril, oddities, and, well, a fair bit of my charm. He leans back, throws his drink in his hand. It all began with a particular letter not one of us could quite make heads or tail of. They were delivered to each of us in a town we had barely heard of. The parchment was light as a feather, but heavy with mystery. He holds up the letter for dramatic effect. And scene.